Okay, grown black folks talk. The case of the misunderstood kilt socks popper. How resentment makes you stupid. See, I did a very reasoned video about ignorance is not bliss, it's ignorance, because that was Auntie Love's request. And I wanted to make sure that I broke that all the way down and did not mix that too much with this one. But see, when you're ignorant and you have mean girl meanness and you have the tortured, broken ego, to go with all that, that even when you are corrected, you will revert back and keep on laughing and kicking. Now you're stupid. And if you apply that to real life matters, you will be damned to remain in the position that you're in till you spiral right off into hell. That is what happens to people, by the way, because what people want to do is they want to bring their old tired, tattered works up to a perfect God and say, you need to accept this because you don't know enough about God to know you need perfection. And that's what happens ultimately. Why? Because people want to take their ignorance and their resentments and roll it up together with whatever it is they want to do, take it all the way through life, be mad at God all the way, and then roll right off. That's actually what happens. Because y'all know I don't use that word damnation is serious. But I'm telling you, this is a common pattern. You got all that from some kilt socks? Yeah, I did. Because this is why. We have sat up here for multiple years. I'm now 43 years old. I've seen 20 years of this, and enough is enough. I was a moderator for Themis and Thaw. Enough is enough. We're going to sit up here looking at people that are doing things we cannot do, access to people we cannot have, cannot be with, cannot associate with, on stages we will never get on. Tennis players, Olympic gymnasts, Super Bowl performers. We don't even comprehend how they got there, but we're going to try to make chattel out of some part of them we feel that we can pick at and betray our ignorance by comparing that to whatever little foolery we know about. So this is how we get a kilt sock worn by Scottish lords who beat off the Romans, who beat off the Vikings, who beat off the English, the strongest European stock there is. And of course, we don't know nothing about that. And then when we are corrected, well, that sure look like Sunday school stuff because you know we have rituals where black men are being forced to wear things, act like, because that's what I'm like, okay, you know all about that, but you don't know about the rituals of the Ku Klux Klan. You don't know about the Ulster Scots. You don't know why black men who are trying to assimilate to European power might be wearing that, and that they are picking out something that is actually stronger than their Anglo-Saxon masters. But not stronger than their Scotch-Irish masters, which goes back to the Ulster Scots and the Ku Klux Klan. And then when somebody comes and tells you, first of all, that's a Louis Vuitton take on a kilt sock. You do not even have the money and the access to even understand what you're looking at, but you talking crazy. And they look like lace socks to me. And they go back to laughing and kicking. And why this happens is because people are resentful. Black men take out on black women that they cannot compete with white men and dominate every day. This has been going on for a minute. Black men take out on black women that God did not make them 6 feet tall, six pack, and they can't figure out how to get a six-figure job. Or in high school, that they just were not the popular boy. They didn't develop that growth spurt and get that big. And all the immature girls were running after the immature boys, and they didn't stop to think and try to find a mature girl because they weren't mature either. And they're still mad. I saw somebody in a comment on another video that was still at 37 talking about how he was still mad about he can't find a Christian girl because of what happened to him in high school. This same individual was the one talking about how much, and I took him and his numbers and told him every idle word, man, ain't nowhere in the world. This is how far off you are. He is down there in comments on a debate which presented no solutions to anybody. Everybody just having a good old time talking about who they thought won the debate. No solutions were presented. 2025 is still coming. Donald Trump can still be president. The Heritage Foundation still has its master plan, its mandate for 2025, which includes putting a whole bunch of y'all back into prison slavery and most likely shutting down a life of self-body autonomy, as Auntie Love says, of all the Black women who were involved, particularly you with childbearing age who already have children. Because in their book, 18 million women ain't, we're not even mentioned except for single moms that are all the main problems besides liberals and woke folk that are in this country. Black men, oh, you're only mentioned in the prison section. You're gonna talk about rituals, but you don't know about that. But it's the resentment that picks at the edges of major athletes. Because, but here's what this does. I remember when the first time this dawned on me was when Patti LaBelle got her sweet potato pie distributed by a major distributor. And everybody was big. Well, I make a better sweet potato pie than that. Well, you probably make a better hamburger than McDonald's too. But what you missed the opportunity to do while you were running your mouth and using your energy to say that was to learn how you get that kind of distribution. This is why Tabitha Brown's book, But I Did a Thing, is so important. See, you actually are like doing things, not sitting there talking about and being evil about, having middle school mean foolery about what somebody else is doing. That's such middle school behavior. I read through all, and I want to say this. I want you to hear this very, very carefully. What I'm about to say. Do y'all remember the 10-second block? Do y'all remember reason 2 that I knocked this man off my list? He was a tall, good looking. I mean, literally, even down to his last name, he has the heritage that I even look for among white men. Quiet as kept. The height, the voice, given where he lives, the cash, got knocked out in 10 seconds. Because he gonna have a friend around that's gonna cut him down and criticize him about one of his most remarkable features. The sweetest, most beautiful bass voice in front of him, and he has this man around. So you're gonna keep middle school mean around. Do you not know that people are looking at you in these comments with your names attached and saying the same thing about you? Because see, I rolled through my phone media real quick, and you know what I was glad to see? I'm not dealing with any of the people that are engaging in the foolery directly. They're all people that I used to know, or it has not been done in front of me. And all the people that showed on this page that they were going to be petty and act a fool, y'all know what happened. You can still come here and learn, and you'll be able to put things together by just watching the videos that come through. I don't have a problem with people doing that. But at the same time, when you have nothing of value to say, I don't let you speak over here. And I wouldn't choose to do business. Just like that man got the 10-second block, although he had every physical characteristic that I would want. People who are about something. See, Jermaine Dupri can laugh because he knows that if you're investing your time worried about lace Sunday school socks and patent shoes, you know competition to him. You're never going to be in a place where you're going to cause him any trouble. He can laugh. Everybody else who's trying to do something in this world is looking up for you. So you have that kind of resentment that you would express that against a man like that, and a moment like that, you would rip down everything else in your path that was closer to your grip. Because you're trying to tear someone down that you can't reach by virtue of the pearl with which he closes the pocket on the sock that is in the model of the most powerful white men living on the planet. Because again, they stood off the Romans. Only the Cushites stood off the Romans. And that's the only other group of people that ever did. Queen Monterey is a Cush. The Romans, the Vikings, and the English. And it has the pocket down there because you're wearing a kilt, so you don't have all those extra pockets and stuff up here. You put anything in there, spur, a bullet, some coins, all this. You're trying to pull people backwards into the lace socks that you probably hated wearing in Sunday school with the patent leather shoes that hurt your feet. That's the best that people could do. So it's not just that you betrayed ignorance about what goes on in the rest of the world and the symbolism of that goes on that's very important even to your life here, because I explained in the previous video about the Ulster Scots, their relationship with the presidency, their relationship to the Scotch-Irish heritage of the United States, and their relationship to Ku Klux Klan. I broke all that down for you. Go study it. But you betrayed, not none of y'all, I mean in general you, but people betrayed their ignorance in a moment of expressing middle school mean girl behavior. So not only are you ignorant, you also are eaten up with resentment and you're powerless and petty at the same time. And then when people with the real information begin coming out, I watch people be like, well, they look like the same school stocks to me, and then went on back to acting like you were corrected and went back to the foolery. Everybody who knows what's going on, who read all that, was like, okay, your name, blah, your name, blah. On the other day, Stephanie Perry was doing a video about Black women in their 40s and 50s making radical moves. And of course, for me, I didn't think I would ever be anything like someone who would be doing a book about finances. This was my radical move at age 42. So I was interested in this video. And, you know, and usually Stephanie Perry's community was very, very encouraging and so forth. And then, of course, here comes some very, very upset Black man. Basically, his whole comment was, well, I wish you Black women would leave the country since you don't love Black men. You heard all this information about how to transform your life at any age. And all that this gentleman had to say, that he heard all that information, and that's all he had to say. No one was even bashing Black men. That wasn't even a conversation. So you know what I did, right? I pre-blocked him. And that's what people are doing to silly Black people. Ignorant, mean girl behaving, not grown Black folks are being blocked out. They're being blocked out by Black people like me. Like I said, I'm going to say this again because I want you to understand nobody who I associate with presently got caught out there like that. Nobody I associate with presently is up here. There's a little pain in saying it still. Because I'm one of those people that I can't harden my heart enough to be indifferent. So if I love you, if I loved you, I still do. But if I'm also frustrated with you, I'm not so much mad, but I know why I left and I'm not changing my mind. I do not associate with people who are in comments talking about who debated who and who won either. Because no solutions were presented. I see, I know a lot of things. I don't participate. I don't mess up my algorithm. I don't want the foolery around me anymore. Because again, it's one thing if you're ignorant. I can help you with that. But if your resentment is so big against whatever it was that happened that God didn't let you have, because that's what it's about, you're just going to take that out and project it on someone else. But that's what it's about. You can't have your own way. You didn't get what you thought you were entitled to in life. And now you're going to pull at the edges and the lace tops of people's socks who are in places that you can't go and are more powerful than you will ever be and have access you will never have. And the reason that you will never have access is because you're using your mind to uphold your resentment instead of using your mind to learn. Look, resentment looks backwards at something that has already happened that has reminded you that you don't have what you think you should out of life. Opportunity is in front of you. Resentment looks backwards at whatever it is, whatever bee you have in your bonnet about whatever you didn't get to be. Learning is forward looking, and there's no end to the capability to learn. So just like the Make America Great Again crowd, you're looking backwards at what used to be and resenting that you don't have those privileges now and trying to turn the clock back. Ain't no clock turning back. For those who need to know, 68% of us put Donald Trump out of office, unless a whole bunch of us have died off and lost our minds. Yes, there is a chance that Donald Trump will become president, but 68% of us are still going to be out there saying no. That clock's not going to get turned backwards. Even if it did get turned back, even if we tried to, Mr. Andrew Womack, I will not call him Reverend, thinks we need a civil war, but you know what he can't do? He can't do anything about the fact that Donald Trump is 78 years, will be 78 this year. He's almost as old as Joe Biden. And if you really pay attention to him, he's declining faster. He's under a whole lot of stress of his own. It's not the same kind of stress that Joe Biden is under, but he's declining faster mentally. It's a long way to October. It's a long way to no, the Republican convention I think is in August. It's a long way to November. Neither of these two men, given their age, might survive that long. And for that matter, neither might we. But the clock's not going to turn backwards. It's just not. Even if we go toward the future that the Heritage Foundation would like to see in this country, they're not going to be able to turn the clock back to the way America used to be. It will be going forward to some new horror. And just like the Confederacy, and just like the Nazis, and just like South Africa's apartheid, and all the Europe's colonial projects, all of its colonial projects, eventually it will fall and be destroyed. The last European world leader will rule the world when that eventually happens. And you know who will come back and deal with him in person? It will be destroyed. They're going to be shocked to know the Lord Jesus Christ is not a white man and comes down and wipes it all out. It will be destroyed. Read Revelation 19. And by the way, this is for free. That also tells you that if Europe has become so prominent that it can have a leader of its own rule the world, the United States will be lost to the dust of history by the time that happens. And if you don't think that can happen, understand this is where being ignorant is real dumb. You do know your country is going month to month on paying its bills and can't even pass a budget. We are living in a time when our nation could go into the dustbin of history within 5 years. And you up here so mad that you can't be where Jermaine Dupri is, and you can't get a man like that. And I'm not sure that you really want one again, but that's what ignorance will have you doing. That you up here comparing some kilt socks worn by the most powerful stock of European men ever, the only stock of European men who could hold a candle to Queen Amani Renas and her generation of Cushites, using their imagery, and you up here talking about some lace Sunday school socks. Well, they do make them at that size. I do live in San Francisco, but you need to know what you're looking at. You worried about that. You laughing and kikiing about that when this other stuff is going on. And everybody reading it who sees a black person's name attached is thinking one of two things. One, we still have them where we want them. We'll have them going around in circles about trifles forever and a day. Or, I want to take you with me, but I can't. There are plenty of you on this line who know that if I decide you're not going with me and I'm not going with you, then that ain't gonna happen, right? Get your lives together. And when I say get your lives together here, I know a lot of y'all who are on here who actually have the privilege to speak are not involved with the foolery. What I'm gonna need you to do is go down your social media pages before you begin to really before you really begin to hit your stride, and I'm gonna need you to unfollow the foolery. I'm gonna need you to stop associating with people like this. Because just like Mr. 10-second block, we could have made such beautiful music together. Bass and contralto harmony. There is one piece of Beethoven. Y'all do not even understand. Got knocked out in 10 seconds because he did not purge his life of the foolery of someone who resented his gift so much that he was so out of control that he was going to do it right in front of him. Don't encourage him, you little tired little tenorette baritone. Mad because God didn't make him a bass. And he was still carrying this man around. Look, if I find out in the news that this individual, because I know his name, ends up dead, I already know I'm going to the police and I'm telling them who the little friend was and everything. I need you to get the little tenorette baritones and little tenor, little sopranoette altos and all the rest of this. I need you to get those people up out your life. I need you to let them go. Before you start to make a move, I need you to eliminate them. It's like Kiana Footman was on Auntie Loves and I, and we are getting together. I know some of you were asking about a part two. We are getting that show together. We're very close to a date. We're very close to a date. She said, once I discovered my default was I didn't let people into my world that didn't fit my default. I need y'all, as you get your life together, to eliminate everybody in your world that's still up here kicking and still acting a fool over some lace top kilt socks with pearls for buttons. I'm like, did y'all see the money dripping off them socks? I need you to get out. Everybody out of your life that talked about Simone Biles' edges at her wedding and during her gymnastics career. Everybody who talked about Dominique Dawes and Gabrielle, what was that woman's name? Gabrielle Dudge's edges. I need you to remove them for your life because you're close enough for them to actually pull you down. I need you to get your life together. I need you to eliminate these people from association with you because I'm telling you what they're going to do. They're mad because they're not you. They got the emotional intelligence of a bunch of middle school girls. I need you to get your life together in such a way that you do not tolerate this around you. Mr. Bass and Miss Composer Arranger, y'all do not understand. Y'all do not understand what that man missed. And he wanted me. And what that man missed, because he kept one of them little ignorant middle school mean girl type people around him too long. Get your life together and remove them. And if you are one of those people, please see yourself out because you already know you're going to get blocked from here. Don't come into the comments letting me know. We talked about the previous video. Let my ignorance be ignorance. It wouldn't be bliss because I don't know you one way or another, but let my ignorance stay ignorant. Don't let me know you in these comments. Don't do it. You will be escorted out. I may or may not make an example out of you after I have eliminated you such that I can make an example out of you and publicly humiliate you. But then again, I may not figure that you were the problem. So if you want to stay around and maybe ask questions so you can learn some things that are being taught over here, may I suggest you leave making those kind of comments alone? Y'all, let me tell you something. I got a phone call today about some stuff, and I'm like, wait, what? Don't bring me no 2023 behavior. Don't bring me no 2023 behaviors. Don't do it. We don't have time for this. We do not have time to allow our resentments to keep us from learning and missing opportunity because we're looking forward, we're looking backwards, and everybody we mad at right up to the true and living God because He wouldn't let us be whatever it was, and the world won't provide us this. And all this opportunity is in front of you, and all this opportunity to learn and figure out how people are being successful is in front of you, and you don't have time for that. You're gonna walk backwards into you're gonna walk backwards, you're gonna walk forward looking backwards and walk off into the bottomless pit. Nobody has time to walk with you either, if that's where your mind is. I'm just telling you now, resent it all you want. I'm trying to help you. Because, like I said, if I can get my backgrounds to come up, I've got quite a number of them now. We're here now. And I'm telling you this in love. If you're not this person, eliminate them from your life. If you are this person, stop it. Get over yourself. Stop looking backwards at what you thought you didn't get. Get the therapy that you need. Get saved. Get to know the Lord Jesus Christ for real. And see what really bothers me is with Christian people who name the name of Christ like this. I'm like, he said something about, the root of bitterness will have you as root of bitterness is Satan's tool. No wonder some of y'all are acting like this. You got people who call themselves reverends looking back to the most deadly period in American history to try to get some old man potentially with either, well, it's not confirmed yet, but some old man who has said himself that he is a person who abuses women in the most violent ways. To get him back in office with his lesbian porn star, former lesbian porn star wife for the party of family values. That's not the company you need to be in. You also do not want to be in a country that can potentially be run by that pair again in a position where you're worried about what everybody else is doing. You need to be looking forward and learning everything you can to secure your position. And these are not the videos I like to make. But we got to stop with foolery. We do not have time. We do not have the luxury of continuing to act fool and continuing to allow people around us. And for those of you who do not understand this, am I not one of the most ruthless people in that respect you've ever met? Some of you cannot answer the question on this channel. So you know, don't you? But the beautiful thing about YouTube is when you're ready to learn, you can. The beautiful thing about YouTube is whatever knowledge I present on any area is still going to be available to you. If I talk about money, straight money things, it's available to you. If I talk about life or death and how to avoid that, it's available. If we talk about crypto and what's happening with the coming crypto bull run, it's available to you. And if I talk about how it is that I block out people and people get blocked out of people's lives, it's available to you so you don't have to make the same mistakes again. I would you not have you to be ignorant running around loose picking on the lace on the top of a pair of socks you cannot afford ever with a middle school mean girl's level of emotional intelligence and out here looking stupid and being deselected for all good. I don't want this for your life. I don't want you to be locked out of all good. Acting a fool. I don't want that for you. I want you to grow up. I want you to grow up enough that you can do without people who refuse to grow up. And I want you to move forward. And I want you to present yourself in public on social media in such a way that people are not blessing, blocking, and changing the lock on you instantly. Because that's what I'm doing out here right now. And a whole lot of other people are doing as well. I don't want you to be ignorant. I don't want you to be a victim of your own resentment. I don't want you to spend any more years eaten up with petty resentment so that you are shutting down your brain's ability to learn. I want you to heal so that you can grow. And in healing so that you can grow, there's a lot of opportunity out there. I've listed some of the channels in the previous video, but just the Black women alone that are in the algorithm with me. I mean, obviously you have Noir Aunties, Auntie Love and I. She has the Self-Confidence for Black Women course. True Mystique, AI prompt manager. She designed that beautiful cover that is causing my paperback to sell better than my digital download, even though the paperback costs twice as much. Mocha Mommy, Black Women Making Money, Sammy Bliss, Transmuted Living. Confidence with Love has her own channel. There, of course, I'm gonna miss mentioning some people, and y'all know, charge it to my head, not to my heart. There are so many connected, and there's so many people, so many other. How can I forget the whole Exodus Network? Stephanie Perry, a daily abortion egg, picky girl travels the world. Sheeta's on the loose, and Sheeted out, and of course, Alicia Renice, the artist, and her husband, Jemiah Calpin. We're gonna throw a man in there. He's a good man and does the Beneficial Black Man is a great channel. There are so many others that I could name. Marissa Price is on the climb. Lifting as we climb is consulting services for those of you who are stuck in jobs that are taking the life out of you. That's another good service. Colette Richardson talks about this as well. I keep putting these names out there. Run the video back and listen to them again if you're not sure, or if you have a question, put it in the comments. I'll see if I can come up with all these chapter names, with all these channel names for you. Do anything but waste your time picking at people who are in places you will never go, and redirect that energy to where you can go. And maybe you'll find yourself where you don't expect to be. See, today I was hoping to be able to drop some good news on y'all, but we'll wait till Friday now, because I gotta get through this. By the time you see this, I'll be hopefully coming out of a work situation. That's gonna take up a lot of my day. But I can tell you that when you make the decisions you need to make to move away from what you need to move away from, and move toward and move with the places that people told you that you would never go, I laugh when people tell me what I can't do. Because all they've told me is that I can't do it with them. I don't want you to be on the wrong end of that all over the place with people that are going somewhere. So I'm gonna need y'all to leave the kilt socks, the edges, the keep keying, the showing up at debates that accomplish nothing. I'm gonna need y'all to leave all that alone. I really am. And if you don't want to leave that alone, that's okay. I'm gonna leave you alone. For real. All right, y'all. Hopefully more cheerful subjects. It's been raining a lot, so I have not been outside on the climb. And tomorrow is not looking good, but maybe Friday. All right. Hopefully on a more cheerful subject. But y'all have a good day now. And if you stayed at the end, I'm going to presume that you are someone who is done with the foolery, and I hope that you got the encouragement that you needed to be done. Some of you have been trickling over and letting me know by various means that you not with the foolery. And I appreciate you letting me know that I was helpful to you. All right. Y'all have a good day now. Thank you for listening. Bye.